The federal government saw what happened with the David Chauvin trial in state court, said, you know what? Where's Derek Chauvin, those other officers, because we want our pound of flesh too.
Oh, Black Dynamite, I wish it was that simple, but this is much bigger than you and me.
Hey, little mama, it may be bigger than you, and it may be bigger than me, but it ain't bigger than you and me. Can you dig it?
BBN Jack Frost. What's up, party people? Alright, so yeah. So apparently, the federal government is a federal grand jury, and the federal grand jury indicted the 4 officers that was involved in the death of George Floyd. Okay, so just so we can be clear, these are the federal charges. Okay, so everybody, real quick, for everybody that don't know, it's gonna majorly be the individuals that don't get in trouble with the law. But for everybody that don't know, you could have state charges and you could also have federal charges. So even though Derek Chauvin had already been found guilty of the state charges, that in no way means that he can't also be found or also be taken to court for federal charges. And basically, that's what they're saying is gonna happen. Apparently, a federal grand jury has indicted 4 former Minneapolis police officers in the connection of George Floyd. Basically, just so we can be clear, what they're saying is that while George Floyd was being held on the ground, it was obvious that he needed assistance, and they failed to give him assistance, and so therefore that's why he died, which is accurate if you are asking me. Shout out to CNN, that's where I'm reading this from. So CNN says, the indictment says that Derek Chauvin, who was convicted last month on state murder charges in the black man's death, deprived Floyd of the right to be free from unreasonable seizure, which includes the right to be free from the use of unreasonable force by a police officer. Now, with that being said, I was trying to explain previously, when people was like, yo, I think Derek Chauvin, he gonna get off. And I was like, no, Derek Chauvin is not gonna get off. And one of the main reasons why Derek Chauvin is not gonna get off is because the government needs for him and the other people that's in this particular situation to be held accountable for this crime, because America is at such an upheaval. Like, just so we can be clear, do you understand how angry America is over this George Floyd thing? Well, not just George Floyd thing, I apologize for saying it like that, but because of the tragedy surrounding around George Floyd, in addition to all of the other tragedies that have been happening. So there are a lot of people who they wanted to see justice, black, white, whatever race. So the government needed for Derek Chauvin to go down. So this is just what I'm thinking happened. After Derek Chauvin was found guilty, and that trial looked as bad, I think the federal government already had plans on doing what they're doing. Obviously, for them to be doing this so quickly, they already either had this in motion or was already strategic. It was a strategic plan already, strategy that they already planned on using. Or this was something that was already on the back burner just in case Derek Chauvin was found guilty, which he was. So the point in which I'm trying to make is, the government is now, because the state might not have the ability to also hold the other 3 men accountable, the federal government has stepped in and they said, well, you know what? You know, they got that Tao and Alexander Kruang, I don't know how to say the guy's name, were also, they were, just so I could inform you of this, they were charged in connection with a failure to intervene in Chauvin use of unreasonable force. just so everybody knows, I'm not sure exactly how many areas in America that this law actually exists, but I'm saying since they're finding it at a federal level and they're holding it against the police officers, I'm gonna assume that if you work for the federal government, that this particular law that I'm going to speak about, you're supposed to adhere to it. There's basically a law that says that some places have it, some don't, that if you see somebody in distress and you don't help them, you could be held accountable for, you know, whatever mishap happens to them. Like if you see somebody choking and you say, oh, you know what, I'm not going to try to help them get that, dislodge that food out of their throat, and then they ended up choking and they're dying, and you knew how to, you know, do the Heimlich or whatever the hell, you just chose not to, you could be held accountable. If you see somebody, I don't know, tied to a railroad track and there's no train in sight and you have enough time to untie them, but you choose to say, well, you know what, they look comfortable, and you walk off, and then the next thing you know, a train hits that person, you could be held accountable. So basically, that's basically what they're saying is going on in this situation. There's no reasonable reason why, I didn't want to use that word twice, there's no reasonable reason why Derek Chauvin's partners or whatever the hell, fellow police officers at that time, couldn't see that George Floyd was in distress and that they needed to intervene. And the fact that they did intervene, they weren't doing basically a job that is not just something that human beings should want to do in general, but also them being police officers, peace officers. Remember this, that they should also be, you know, be there for. You can't just watch somebody die and you're a whole police officer. That's crazy. Anyway, also, just so we can be clear, they're bringing up, for everybody that don't know, Derek Chauvin has had quite a few run-ins with black kids, apparently. So they're actually talking about, in this CNN article, they're actually talking about this one particular time that he came in contact with with a black kid that was 14 years old, handcuffed the kid, put the kid down on the ground, put his knee in his neck, and then beat him over the head with a flashlight. So he has situations and issues like this that has been going on for quite some time now. It's sad that somebody had to die in order for him to be stopped. It's what else is even also sad is it seems like the police departments consistently choose individuals that are the most harsh, that are the most, I don't know, lack of caring for certain demographics to be the trainers of the next police officers. So once again, one of the things I've always said is that the problem is the training. Of course, we have police officers who are just bad people. Don't get this confused. But I think often also officers are being trained to do some of these things that they're doing that we're frowning upon. And that's why the unions sometimes fight so hard and they can't never say, well, this obvious that this guy was wrong. Throw him to the Sharks or the, you know, whoever. Anyway, let me know what y'all guys think about this. I'm pretty sure we're all celebrating the federal government's decision to do what they're doing. And in addition to that, just so we can be clear, I think that they might just want to have another George Floyd trial just in general. This is the federal government, y'all. Anyway, leave the comments down below. I want to know what you guys think about this. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I got on this one. I'm out. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like to help dictate the direction that this channel takes, please leave a comment. All comments are appreciated, whether positive or negative. Thank you very much and enjoy your day. And remember, positive thoughts cause for positive things to happen. Let's get it.
Mike Jones Beatz.
than you, and it may be bigger